Hello! In this series I'm going to be going over budget premium decks that you can build for about $50, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And within each deck I will be giving you different upgrades you can do. And the goal of this is to give you a good start with the clan. So get you as many good staples as you need, but still have it able to compete. If in a deck you see vanilla crits or heals, instant upgrade you can do is the premium collection crits or the heal guardians, which for the premium collection crits they're getting reprinted in the next premium collection, so you can wait till then to get them whenever they're under $1 each. So yeah, with all that being said, let's hop into it. Starting with Zoo, we are going to be doing Great Nature and Big Belly. So Big Belly, whenever your rearguard retires by an ability, you can draw a card, which that's like the most important part of the effect. You don't really care about the second effect. Your entire goal is to stride into Belial and then have Belial give your front row plus however much power, and then at the end of the turn you de-stride the Belial and then you blow up all your rearguards and then you draw a card for each one that died. The normal build runs Zoa and Monoculus as a big finisher, but since we don't have access to them because they're expensive cards, this is more like a big beater type of deck where you're constantly restanding your rearguards and giving them a bunch of power to be able to push super hard. So we have Crayon Tiger and Amazing Professor Big Belly as just good ways to stand your rearguard and have it multi-attack a bunch of times. You have Talented Rhino as just a solid guard restrict that is really hard to stop after it stands multiple times in a turn. Spool Mary is just a really good going first play, so you ride Spool Mary and then you ride Big Belly, call the Spool Mary on the Excel circle, have it swing for 24, then have Big Belly swing for 22, and then restand the Spool Mary, and then swing again, and then it dies and you draw a card. Just a solid grade 2 play. And then Grey Belly, this can really be anything. I think Grey Belly is fine as a way to gain even more cards. So you combine this with the Big Belly skill, and then for the retires that you get off Grey Belly, you draw 2 cards instead. The Lemur is just for Soul Charge. Mini Belly, you have a bunch of Big Bellies you want to search for. And then Deli Belly is a way to keep your Counterblast up. Your Strides, it's mostly just Belial, like 90% of the time. You go Managarmr Arm. If you don't have a good board set up, then you can just go Managarmr Arm and gain a bunch of advantage. Upgrades you can do, add Zoa and Monoculus. They are super solid endgame pushes. You would probably change the deck around a bit to fit them in. They're just a really hardcore win con that is extremely hard to guard. You can put in Fernie Aegis for the Link Joker matchup, but you're already blowing up your field anyway, that doesn't super matter. Compass Line is a really good card if you're doing the Zoa Monoculus, so you have a 13k base early game. And then you can also run Mika Saburo as a way to search out your grade 3s. Next we have Megacolony, and we're doing Gridora. So Gridora is one of the best control decks in the game by being able to lock people out of being able to call stuff and also stunning the stuff currently in play anyway. You run the original Gridora as a way to lock up a column where they can't play anything in there, and then you run 2 of the Gridora Stride to make the opponent only able to call from hand, which they can't G-guard against Gridora. You basically utilize this to try to control the game and gain a bunch of advantage over them, and you have a ton of pressure between the Gridora Stride being able to call a grade 3 and then having Intrude Scissors to stand something and give himself plus 10. So yeah, the upgrades you can do with this is a pretty competitive looking list. The only thing you might want to do is put in more Gridora Strides, or pivot into Magnolia or the Order deck, where you run Decayed Hollow Dragon and the Book and Shadow Cloaks and stuff like that to be able to gain a bunch of advantage on your grade 3 ride. And then Magnolia just has like insane amounts of pressure. There's huge combo turns with it in the Gridora Stride. For the last of Zoo, it's Neon Nectar, and we are doing Maiden of. You basically run Stand Peony as a on-ride call 2 tokens, and it's like a mini Katrina where on attack you Counterblast 1, blow up 4 rears, and then call 4 tokens, and all of your units get plus 10k for the turn. So you utilize this, and combined with Cycloned, you have a really strong turn, and you basically run this as an aggro deck. So you run Maiden of Fallvine and Maiden of Nepenthes as a way to use your tokens as advantage engines in power bonuses. So like turn 2, you can pretty easily get Fallvine and a Nepenthes in play and have them 15k beaters, and then on your grade 3 turn you go into Stand Peony and just pop off. The only upgrade you can possibly do to this deck is running the V Series Antero, where whenever you play it, your Vanguard gains +5 for each token you have. So you combine this with one of your G guards of Costarino or Rainbreath, and then after your stand peony turn, you can give your Vanguard +20k for the turn. Now for Megacolony, we are starting with Aqua Force and Blue Waves. So you run the new Tetra Drive, and you basically just have an easy way to swing 3 times with your Vanguard, and you need 7 attacks to get there. So you run a bunch of cards that will give you advantage or multi-attack. So you run Dagger Master Draco Kid as a way to draw a card every time your Vanguard swings, and your Vanguard will be swinging 3 times. You will draw 3 just off this one card, and then it'll also be a crit on the last attack. And then the crit basically does the same thing, except without the extra critical part. For your multi-attack engine, you're running the original Baragios, just as a way to have an extra stander every time your Vanguard attacks. You run Medla as a 11k attacker from the back row. Foivos is just an extra attacker, and then Arsenal Fleet as a extra V-stander. Ways to upgrade this is really just in the G zone. You can put in more Flood Hazards, you can put in Angle Boil, you can put in Lambros, but you really don't need to. This is a very viable deck as is. Commander Jaime did a combo attack turn that you can see to see how the deck plays and how smooth it should feel. Next we have Bermuda Triangle, and Bermuda has so many different builds you can take, but I think the best one for the budget variant is Pacifica. So Pacifica on Vanguard, you Soul Blast 1, and then for each Pacifica rear guard you get an effect. So 1 or more you get 10k in a drive, 2 or more you get 2 force markers, and 3 or more your opponent has to guard 3 or more cards at the same time for the whole turn. So you're basically building around this and being able to have a very strong turn 3 turn. It's pretty high roll, so you'll be able to end the game as soon as you ride grade 3 on your first stride. So we run Eternal Idol Pacifica, which doesn't really do anything, it's just a Pacifica name, and Planet Idol Pacifica, which also doesn't super do anything. It's just, it has an insole effect that it can do also. For your grade 2s, you run Spica as an additional way to multi-attack, and then you have the rest of them as engines to be able to search for more stuff. So you have Aqua to bounce 1, draw 1, ditch 1. You have Vieira as a way to call something from your drop zone, and you can give all your units boost and basically resist for the next 2 turns. So combining this with the Pacificas, you'll be able to have a back row of just grade 3 boosters. And then it'll also help search out your extra Pacificas that you need to see. And then you run Shiratsuyu, Celeste 1, put a Shizuku from your soul into your hand, and if you put a grade 0 count charge soul charge, so you combine this with the grade 3 searcher and just keep searching your deck for more Pacificas. And then yeah, for your strides, you have Twinkle Happiness Pacifica, which basically allows you to search for more Pacificas and add them to your hand. And then you can call Pacificas and just enables multi-attack really. So yeah, Outer Orange does a lot better job explaining this than I did. This is basically her list from back in July, so I will link you down in the description to her video and you can check that out. And then finally we have Granblue and Pinot Noir. Now with Pinot Noir, during your turn, your entire front row gets +5 for every 3 triggers in your drop. So you're trying to utilize this effect as a way to have a big multi-attack turn. So you combine this with Nightstorm and Beatrice and Bad Bounty, and you have a really insane multi-attack turn that you can take. Commander Jaime did a 15 attack combo video where he goes over the entire process of it, and this list is basically built off of that. Additional things you can do is Skeleton Cannoneer with Beatrice and Negro Lily as a Denial Griffin play. You have Greed Shade and Columbine to search for specific things. You have Sea Navigator to hypermill your deck out because you kind of want to mill your triggers now. So then your Pinot Noir becomes a lot bigger. And then yeah, you just run 11 crit because you just want to end the game. You run Big Obadiah as a way to selectively mill what you need to. So you can mill out the Jessie, the Beatrice, the Nightstorm, all of them. And then one of Bad Bounty. Bad Bounty's a $12 card, and then Beatrice is a $9 card. So this is bare minimum. If you have more of each of them, put them in. But Bad Bounty, you go down to Pinot Noir, and then you have the big power up on your entire board. So yeah, once again, thank you all for watching. Hopefully I was able to help you guys get started in the premium. All the people I mentioned in the video, their videos to their specific specific list will be in the description. If you liked what I did, like, comment, subscribe, do all that. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one.